some spots I have flagged, which I might show now. Yeah, it should be a multiple day journey, I'm thinking. I literally packed whatever I thought I could grab, put it in my truck. This must be the top of the bluff here. This is Scott's Bluff. Looks like an ocean, but it's a lake, fresh water. And this is the bluffs here. These are all down the lake, of course. I don't know if y'all can see it. There's like 2 stacks down there. 2 stacks. I think that's the nuclear power plant, or one of them. So there you go. First look at the lake. First look at the bluffs. Outskirts of Oswego. Protein stop. I'm gonna set the camera up so you got a view while I'm driving through. And we'll stop a couple places. And we'll head on. This is Oswego River right here.
Moving eastward, we arrive at Oswego, a place where waters have always met, where the Oswego River flows into Lake Ontario. Once a vital lifeline for the Onondaga Nation and their Iroquoian kin, the name Oswego itself echoes from the Iroquois word Ashwige, meaning flowing out. This river mouth was both sacred and strategic, later drawing French missionaries, British soldiers, and American settlers into a century-long unfolding of trade, war, and transformation. Oswego became a port, a battleground, and eventually a refuge. The town stood tall in the War of 1812 and later opened its arms to Holocaust refugees during World War II, one of the only U.S. sites to do so.
As you can see, off in the distance,
Along the shoreline stands the monolithic 9 Mile Point nuclear station, a maker of a different kind of power. Built in the 1960s, it rose with the atomic age when humanity sought to control the fire of the stars. Here, man split the atom to generate light, but this modern temple sits atop ancient land, where energy once meant sunlight, wind, and flowing river. The land remembers both the silence and the hum.
so up on the hill there you see those old style houses. The river's right, the river comes in right here, and then up here where those houses are, that is the fort. That is the old fort that I believe they fought the Native Americans on. But we're gonna jump right up there. We'll be over there in a minute. We're gonna check out this fort. And here we are. We're not able to go in today. It's closed, but we can check out the outside.
For Ontario has worn many flags and seen many tides of history. First built by the British in 1755 during the French and Indian War, it has fallen, risen, and transformed through nearly every major American conflict. But deeper still, before muskets and flags, this hill above the lake was a lookout and a ceremonial ground. Its stones still carry the pulse of those who stood here in reverence long before the clash of nations. We find ourselves among widespread trails and stones at Robert G. Wells State Park, once private land, now a sanctuary for both humans and wildlife. Though it became a state park in 2004, the spirit of the place is timeless. The cliffs stand like sentinels above Lake Ontario.
This is cray. If I could get a spot to park, this would be great camping. I'd camp right here by this house. Shit. Oh. We got more cliffs down there. Little crack. Going this way is looking pretty cool. Somebody is eating good down here. Whole thing must have collapsed at some point. Oh, there. I don't know how you'd get a picnic table down here. This is crazy. It's back towards where we came from. Somebody been drinking beer up here. There's that pile of rocks we were on. There's that picnic table. We're out here, Watertown. Kind of exactly what I expected it to look like. I believe it's bigger than this. He's having a good time over there. Dancing his heart out. We're gonna drive around a little later and kind of check it out at night, maybe while it's getting dark. But first, I'm gonna go check into my room and get set up. Here we are. The hotel room. Actually, my last room was nicer, but there was absolutely nothing in there. Nothing good in there. Should have known. Yeah, let's drive around. We arrive now at Watertown, a city born of water and vision. Along the restless banks of the Black River, native people once fished, gathered, and honored the spirits that danced in the rapids. Long before the grid of streets and smokestacks, this land belonged to the Algonquian-speaking tribes, who lived in balance with the seasons. In the early 1800s, settlers saw in these falls a different kind of power, a chance to build, to harness, to profit, and so the city rose, quickly becoming a hub of industry, invention, and commerce. Watertown's mills spun with iron and ambition. Today, Watertown wears a different face. While the bones of its former prosperity remain, many of the streets echo with silence. The factories have long closed. The river still rushes, but now it's the sound of homeless voices, siren songs, and hollowed-out storefronts that fill the air. The proximity to Fort Drum brings both life and impermanence. Young soldiers pass through, but few roots grow. The downtown struggles under the weight of addiction, poverty, and neglect. This is not failure, it's a city between lives, aching to be remembered, aching to be healed. The spirit of Watertown still flickers beneath the surface, waiting not for rescue, but for reverent rebirth, and for those willing to see not what's wrong, but what's possible. It's a good thing that we stayed at this hotel because it's raining. Oh yeah. I smoked a little bit of weed. My card will not let me back into the side door. I was sitting there messing with it, and I was just like, how long am I gonna mess with the door? And it's just not gonna let me in. I was like, this just is not possible for me to do this while I'm high. So I just came back to my car. And I was just sitting outside the hotel. Could go walk in the front. Who wants to walk in the front when they're high? Let's be honest. Don't want to make an entrance.